Yeah, so Renee, as you said, self-love is extremely, extremely important. Oh, thanks, Renee. I appreciate you. Yeah, thank you. Yo, Renee, this is crazy. Sorry, I'm just gonna say this real quick and then we'll get into it. Renee was around when I was like coming through my first awakening. And we worked together at the same company and, around the same cubicles. And we would have this thing every day at the end of the day called Q Talks. And it was crazy because it was like the livest thing on our floor, and everybody at the end of the day, because we'd have like the last 15 minutes to just chop it up and do whatever we want before we leave for the day. And we would just talk about everything from like relationships to controversial topics like awakenings, religion, all types of stuff. Like, you know what I mean? And like, what would you do scenarios and what we saw like going on in the world. Like it was really dope, really deep. So, I knew from that point that like, yeah, like, we need to have this conversation on wax, like spread the word. Like, I thought it was gonna end up being a podcast. Anyways, fast forward to me actually starting the podcast, which is the Spiritual Gems podcast, which is live on YouTube. The link is in the description. So yeah, we definitely ended up doing it. So it's crazy to just see it come full circle. Wild. But anyways, self-love. So in the chat, if you don't mind, y'all, like, what are some of the things that you do to show that you love yourself? Like, how do you show yourself self-love? I'm just curious. Like, let me know in the chat. How do you show yourself? Just maybe like one way, one or two ways. What's up, Kelly B? Welcome to the live. Discipline. Ooh, that's a good one, T. Discipline. Buy myself flowers weekly. Okay, Professor, I love that. Okay. Yeah, those are really, really great things. Ooh, discipline is a really good one. I like that one. That was deep. Doing my nails. Okay, Amani. Word. That is a really good way to show yourself love. Okay, bet. All right, cool. So, very interesting. So buying flowers. Hi, Kelly. Working out. Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, thank you, Ascend. That's also a good one. My self-love is giving time to be in the gym for me too. Okay, cool. Love that. So you guys all mentioned like really time alone. Ooh, that's deep, Renee. Dang. All right, bet. So you guys mentioned some really good ways to show self-love. And those are all, in my opinion, correct. I mean, it's very subjective to the person. But generally speaking, when we think about self-love, we mostly think about it on a surface level. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Showing yourself love, doing your nails, working out at the gym. Those are all things that, make you feel great about yourself, right? At least on the inside. But those tend to be more on the surface level, right? And the thing about that is that it is helpful, but we really got to remember that like self-love is not just about showing up for yourself by doing your nails, your hair, getting a massage here and there, or taking a vacation, right? Like that's helpful, but you really got to begin to dive deeper. I love what Tiara said about discipline. Discipline is one of those things where you have to hold yourself accountable, right? For the things that you're doing or not doing. And it means consistency. It means showing up for yourself in a lot of different ways that may be uncomfortable, right? And that's the side of self-love that we don't really talk about enough. When you ask the average person, like, hey, do you love yourself? Most people will probably say, yeah, I love myself, right? One's in the chat if you love yourself. Oh, there's a delay. 100 facts. Okay, I see stuff coming up on the side. But yeah, showing up for yourself with discipline is a great way to dive deeper. Thank you, T. Thank you, Ascend. Thank you, Amadi. Yeah, it was in the chat. There you go. And it's facts. It's one of the great ways to show up for yourself deeper than just getting your nails done, right? Because your nails, your hair, getting a haircut, getting swaggy, buying some sneakers, getting a massage. Yeah, that makes you feel good. But that's all surface level. It's not self-sustaining, right? So when we talk about self-love, at least today, we're only talking about those things. And because of that, people are all over social media showing, the ways of which they show themselves love. And we look at it and we're like, oh my God, like that's awesome. I wish I could do that. I wish I could take vacations like them and all that. But the reality is after you come back from that vacation, your life is still your life, right? What up, guys? Thanks for pulling up. So what does really the other side of self-love really look like? Well, we talked about discipline, so that's great. Thanks, T. You clearly have done some of the work before me, right? But it also looks like healing, right? Like doing the deep dive that you need to do in order to heal the traumas and ego distortions that have been created in your life, right? A lot of us believe that, we're working these 9-to-5 jobs and you might be making good money and everything like that. You're able to afford the vacations and buying yourself things, and that makes you feel good. But realistically, it's only putting a bandage over the deeper wounds that you typically have going on inside of you, right? Many of us don't spend enough time getting to know our inner self and healing our inner child, right? Healing the wounds and the things that will truly help free you to live a truly abundant life, right? It's about doing the inner work. It's about tapping into your divine feminine. You know what I'm saying? Doing your nails is cool, but that is feminine in nature, yes. But I'm talking about an energy wise. That's like an outward act, right? But the inner act of showing up for yourself is the real work that needs to be done to show that you truly appreciate yourself, right? Think about this. When's the last time you ever just sat down and thought to yourself like, yo, let me do something for my inner child? Is there anyone here that may not know what your inner child is? And we could talk about that if necessary, no shame. What's up, Mike? Thanks for pulling up, my guy. So I'm having a conversation the other day and with someone, and we just were going over, that's a good question. Yeah, facts. Like we don't think about these things, right? Because we're literally in the hustle and bustle of life. We're seeing what other people are doing to show up for themselves, and we're just going off of what we're taught. And unfortunately, we live in a world that's largely external, right? Largely focused on the external and not the internal work, right? So what ends up happening is you forget to look within and you ignore the parts of yourself that you truly need to connect with. And so the reason why I asked, when's the last time you ever thought of connecting with your inner child or done something creative from your childhood, in that aspect, it's important to know that like these are the things that you need to do to show up for yourself in other ways of showing yourself self-love. When's the last time like you colored? When's the last time you painted? When's the last time you just like actually ran around and had like a water balloon fight? You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't have to be anything like super, super serious, though healing is serious work. But just connecting with yourself in that way to just explore your creativity again, be with your inner child. A lot of the times when we're dealing with traumatic experiences, we shove that down and we just go out into the external world and say to ourselves, our ego says that we have to be successful in whatever the arena is in order to be validated, right? And so we go out throughout our lives not doing the inner work and ignoring those things, right? And then we wonder why we're unbalanced. And what's crazy, I think Professor said this in her live, not tonight. She mentioned this a little bit, like, even if you are to be successful and you reach a certain level of success, when you obtain this success, you realize that something is still missing, like something isn't right. And part of that is because what was the reason behind you truly obtaining that success, right? Was it to make your mother and your father proud? Was it to be accepted by society? Why is it that you want to be successful? A lot of us think that we are motivated by the self. Well, I just want to do it because I want to be the best me. But when you unpack the layers of those things, it's about you being validated by someone else in some way, shape, or fashion. Because we all want to be accepted. That's our human part of ourselves, right? And we forget that, like, we're spiritual beings having a human experience at the end of the day. You know what I mean? But tapping into you is the best way to show yourself self-love. It's basically what I'm saying in a nutshell. Right? So true. The focus is usually on what we can see instead of looking within. Facts. Now, when you start to do the work by looking within, what you can do is you'll realize things about yourself, and you can ask yourself questions like, oh, why am I doing this? Why am I in this relationship? Right? Do I truly desire to be with this particular person, or does this person match a aesthetic that gives me respect in my circles, and in church, or we're aligned in terms of the money that we make and the careers. There's so many things that we get from these false, like, outward identities that your ego distorts. Is just crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you literally become proud to say you work for companies that really don't give, most companies anyway, they are outliers, that don't give two shits about you. You know what I'm saying? That's real talk. Mindfulness and meditation is always great to do. That is a fact. Meditate. And we'll definitely dive in about meditation in the future. And of course, meditation shows up in many different ways, right? I mean, obviously on a base foundational level, sitting down in silence, or maybe to some type of maybe high vibrational sound, depends on you, and just listening, allowing your thoughts to flow, connecting with your spirit team is definitely foundationally important, and that's one of the best ways to meditate. But there's also meditation and other things like moving your body, right? Dancing, listening to music, gardening, you know what I mean? Walking. Some of my best ideas come when I'm driving, like doing something mundane, and that's just maybe my gift. I don't know if y'all feel the same way, but like sometimes I just be in my head, like not listening to nothing, or even listening to music, and things will just come because, I'm a Gemini moon, so I'm a thinker, but sometimes those things will just flow. But yes, meditation is definitely a huge form of self-love. Renee, you're on fire right now. I wish I could give you like a fire emoji. Being with nature is also good. That's a fact. Being in nature will help, like grounding. Grounding is so important. There's so much information about grounding. Did you know that, like, for some of y'all are like germaphobes and kind of weird, and I get it, like, people be spitting in the grass and stuff, and, dogs be going in the grass. So I get in certain places you may not want to take off your shoes, but do you know you can just use your palms to touch a tree or lean up against a tree, and that also gives you the same effect as grounding? Did y'all know that? I know it's weird to say go hug a tree. You could do that, but you can also just put your palms on a tree, and it'll help you. You know what I'm saying? These are all really cool things that help you. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of get back to yourself. Facts. Downloads come when I'm in the shower mostly. Yeah. Being around water. Some of y'all who are water signs or have certain placements, definitely being around water will help. I'm a Cancer, so being around water is always peaceful to me. Going to the beach, putting your feet in the sand, like all of that is extremely important. You know what I'm saying? But these are all really good forms of self-love, So what are some other ways that we can maybe show self-love? So we talked about meditation, we talked about grounding, being out in nature. What are some other creative ways that we can talk about to maybe help dig a little deeper within yourself? We talked about, playing with your inner child, right? So doing things that you find fun, etc. What's something else that y'all think that we can do for self-love? Journaling, that's a great one. For all of my writers out there. The power of journaling is amazing. So a lot of people if you're like me, who's a very heady person, and by heady, I mean like there's a lot of thoughts and stuff flowing through your mind and racing thoughts all the time. One of the best things you can do to work through some of that, some of the thoughts, and just to get it out is just to write them down. You know, my human design is I'm a manifesting generator, and I have a 6th house of Pisces. And we'll unpack human design and stuff like that at a later time. But I can be much of a dreamer, and I can also get a lot of ideas. Right. So for me, y'all should see my notes. It's like a freaking graveyard for ideas. I almost cursed, sorry. It's like a graveyard for ideas, fam. It's absolutely crazy. I get so many creative ideas, and like they go into the notes graveyard, and then I never go back to them half the time. It's terrible. I gotta get better. You know, I'll be vulnerable with y'all right now, but honestly, that's really a thing that you guys need to do. Like, it really does help if you have thoughts that are racing. Write them down somewhere, especially when it comes to things that maybe you're ruminating about. You know, and I think when you tend to write them down, you realize how asinine and crazy that thing sounds, that you're like, yo, this looks crazy. Like, why am I tripping about this? And one of the things that I do that may be helpful to you is sometimes if it's a negative thought that I know is just completely out of nowhere, I would write the exact opposite of what that thing is, right? So like, let's say I don't know, concerned about money, right? And I'm like, damn, yo, like shit never goes my way. I don't know like where this money's gonna come from to do this and do that, whatever that thing may be, right? What you can do immediately is say to like, you know what? I'm an abundant being. You know, money loves me and always flows to me very easily. All my needs are always met. These are just easy things that you can say to yourself to help transmute that energy. And that feels much better than being sucked into the negative emotion of, oh, I'm broke, I don't have this, I don't have that. We really got to be better about how we talk about each other, which is another form of self-love, right? Your inner talk, how you speak to yourself. How many of y'all in here find yourself being like, man, I knew that shit was going to happen when something bad happens to you? One's in the chat if you've ever done that in your life. I know I have, right? Like, damn, it's just my luck. Like, this is always my luck. Like, let's see. Sorry, the chat's moving fast and I've been locked in. Journaling. Yep. Forgiving yourself for the past mistakes. Facts. Setting healthy boundaries. Ooh, that's another one. Facts. Ooh, we don't get to that. Dancing around, respecting your own voice and opinion, speaking the truth. Ooh, we're gonna have to come back and talk about this. Create a bucket, fill it with places you want to go, then take yourself on a date. Damn, yes, I love that. That's fire. That reminds me of like that trending thing where you have like the papers and you gotta like the person chooses which one for their date or whatever, their partner. Being fully authentic, facts. Showing up for yourself. My bad, my accent want to come out. Maldita. What up, Maria? Welcome. So yeah, that's a fact. So these are just some things that you can do. So let me see. So we talked about journaling, forgiving yourself for past mistakes. Ooh, that's a good one. That's very important for self-love. You know, a lot of the times we say we love ourselves, but we can't forgive ourselves from the things that we did or didn't do or how we did them. You want to know why? Because a lot of the times you're still holding on to the shame of that thing that happened. You know what's deep about that? It's just like, I get it. There's a feedback system that we get, right? We come into this world, we are forced to go to school, right? We're in this room that's a square room, and we have these desks, and we're supposed to, you know, raise our hand before we speak, and you know there's you know you have tests that you have to do, and you get grade systems, and if you get an A and A+, that's amazing, and if you get an F, then you're a failure. And so you're constantly taught how to regurgitate information and not really freely think, right? Then you have this thing with your parents on top of that, where, you know, people, person of colors, y'all might understand, or anyone actually, real talk, like if you make a mistake, your parents are on your ass about it, right? There's not a lot of room for forgiveness or grace, no matter what your age, right? It's like they forget that you're a child and you don't have the reasoning. Your brain hasn't developed yet to know the reasoning, and that you don't have the intelligence yet on a full scale level to make the best decision. So you kind of have to learn through mistakes, but then like you're shamed for the mistakes that you make. Like me, well, most of my family was in here today. They're not, but I was what you would call no, I was a good kid, but I was very hyper. I was gonna say I was a badass kid, but that's not true. I was a little hyper, yo. I was a little hyper and had a lot of energy. And my parents, you know, they just didn't know what to do with me, right? As you can tell, I still got the little mischievousness, ding, sometimes. But, you know, I would get myself in trouble and do things, and I was a little bit of a rebel and stuff, but whatever, you know, just, we don't come with a handbook or a rule book. Our parents are just doing the best that they can. So there's no beef there. But anytime, you know, I would make a mistake, it was like, you know, Caribbean parents. I don't know if y'all understand Caribbean parents or African parents. My God. You make one mistake, the whole world got to know about it. Everybody in the family got to know. You probably gonna get beat and you're gonna get cussed out. And they're gonna tell the whole family about the dumb shit that you just did. They're gonna be like, yo, that was so stupid. Why would you do that? You know. And you know, as a child, right? As soon as somebody says to you as a child, like, that was so stupid, why'd you do that? As a child, you don't hear that action was stupid. You hear that you're stupid. So, believe it or not, for the rest of your life, that already creates an ego distortion because of the shame that you felt in that moment. And for some people, they never want to feel that again. So they basically are constantly stuck in this feedback loop or system where they're constantly trying to make others happy. They can become people pleasers, for example, right? And constantly looking for the validation, like, okay, did I do this right? Is this what you wanted? And when you come from a Caribbean household, boy, there's not much that you could do, right? Outside of getting straight A's. And not doing shit. Not making any mistakes. Don't let you break a glass, nothing like that. It's like, nah, I love my Caribbean heritage. But it's crazy. It's crazy. And so now you're in this space where you're in this feedback loop system, and this continues. So you go to school and now you're trying to get good grades, and you know, your math may not be like your best subject and you're struggling, but like everyone else seems to get it, but you don't. And now there's shame around speaking up and asking for help because, you know, you've been called stupid before and you don't want to be called stupid again, right? And so now it just continues, and then you're further behind, and then you fast forward to you're an adult and you're still in this same system or cycle, right? But for you, as long as what you tell yourself is, as long as I'm making a certain amount of money and I'm able to buy the things that I can buy, then I'm good, right? You know, I could do my nails. I can do myself, like I buy myself flowers every week. I can get massages, and that, you know, that's going to make me feel better. I take a vacation. I feel great after a vacation. Shit, half the time I don't want to come back. But the truth is, you went your pretty much most of your life without dealing with that exact trauma from your childhood. And you don't really understand how that's affecting you every day in your choices, whether that's the job that you work at, the people that you have in your life currently, the relationships that you're in. A lot of that is a reflection of what you previously manifested due to the distortions of this thing inside you that you believe, right? This inner child that we keep ignoring, that we're not facing, that we're not helping, that we're not trying to connect with, and you're just stuck. And then we wonder why we're getting the things that we're getting. Like at some point, you're just like, yo, enough is enough. Like something needs to change. You know what I'm saying? And what needs to change is you got to love yourself better. And by love yourself better, I mean unconditionally, right? So to bring this back to the whole forgiving you for yourself for past mistakes, understand that like you did the best you could with what you had, right? Or what you could do in that time. And you're not meant to be perfect, because to be honest, as a human being in this experience, we learn through pain. We learn through mistakes. That's how you get better, right? If you're already good at something, if you're already a master of something, then there's no need for you to grow. And so this leads me to the next point of like why it's so important to do this self-love work, right? Because it's about growth. That's why you came here, to grow, to expand, to experience, right? But what we tend to do is we tend to play it safe. We tend to ignore our feelings or our deep hidden desires or our traumas. We just kind of like push it out of our heads, you know, and it never really goes away. I mean, there's different layers of traumas and all that. We're not gonna get into that, you know what I'm saying? And there's stuff that maybe you haven't even realized or even thought of in years. You know, you'll be surprised the one time somebody like roasted you in class, how you never got over that. You'll be surprised the littlest things that your ego will grab onto as a child that you can't work through. And some other things that are way more serious, you know, sexual trauma, physical abuse, those things do a number on you. And so you're still thinking that you're an adult and you're showing yourself self-love and you're feeling better temporarily. And you feel like you love yourself, but like you always come back to this down kind of feeling, like I'm feeling down again. Like, why isn't that sustainable? And I mean, listen, I'm not trying to paint the picture like you're supposed to be happy all the time. I'm talking about those moments that come up when you're sitting alone, when you take the time to sit alone and you're like, damn, like I'm not really happy about what's going on in my life and I can't really pinpoint it as to why. It goes back to that self-love piece, which requires you to go and do the inner work to truly find out what it is that you truly desire on a soul level, right? Not from what your ego wants and desires, because we already know what our ego wants and desires. The ego wants the Birkin bag, the ego wants the Lambo, you know what I'm saying? The ego wants the 6-bedroom house with the fountain out front, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know what a mansion joints. You know what I'm saying? That's what I enjoy. That's what they want. But like, yeah, it's more than that. It's much more than that. You know what I'm saying? Setting healthy boundaries. Oof, that's gonna have to be its own other life. But yes, setting boundaries is a huge part of self-love. My God. And just so I say this real quick, for boundaries, like a lot of people believe boundaries is like you disrespect me once and I cut you out of your life. Like, no, you have to give people the opportunity and the grace to grow. How you set boundaries is by speaking up for your boundaries first, right? Because sometimes people don't know what your boundaries are, and it depends on how egregious the act is, of course. Then if the person continues to step over those boundaries after you've told them, then you can make decisions after that on what you should do best. But what a lot of people do who are very like in the black and white, you know what I'm saying? There's no gray to them. Just like, you do this, I cut you off, that's it. But then you're robbing yourself the opportunity to grow. You know, I was talking to somebody the other day. Damn, I didn't want to get into this, but we're going to get into it. I was talking to somebody the other day, and like, they had an issue with somebody, right? The person is so simple. This is so crazy. Now, this is somebody who's very sort of close to them, and they saw them somewhere outside. So, you know, they pulled up on the side and were in the vehicle, and they waved to them like, hey, how you doing? Blah, 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 blah. Like, what's up? The person completely ignored them and talked to somebody else in the car, or just kind of like, hi, and just kind of kept it moving to the other person in the vehicle. So it was a show of disrespect to that person, right? And so that person decided to just kind of just take that like, wow, that's how you feel, without expressing to them or having a conversation like, hey, you know, I said hi to you, didn't say hi back. Is there an issue? Is there a problem? Like, what's going on? Instead, they just wrote off the situation and rode off into the sunset and said, you know what? I will never, ever reach out to this person again. And to me, at least from my perspective, that was an opportunity for growth. Because one, you got to speak up. You don't want to have issues with your throat chakra, right? You want to be able to speak up and say how you feel. It's important to do so. You know what I'm saying? Because for all you know, that person maybe just didn't even see you or hear you. Because sometimes, like, we really believe that people are always out here. Like, sometimes people have real issues that they're working through in their mind and they may not see you. Or maybe they were in a mood that day. Or maybe they heard something that you may have said about them. And then that would be a great time for you to address that. Now, if you address it to that person and they don't want to have the conversation, then that's fine. But that completely resolves you of the cycle of karma after that, because you said what you need to say and then you feel at peace. Like, well, F it. They don't want to rock with me, then that's fine. That's cool. They'll sweat off on my back. But by you climbing up and protecting yourself and saying, oh, I'm just done with them, that stops you and only hurts you. That's the karma for not speaking up. Right? And then you have other trust issues, and we don't need to go that far. But I hope y'all are picking up what I'm saying. That, like, it's not always about cutting somebody off on the first time they, like, do something to you. You have to give people the opportunity and the grace to grow, just like you did. You made mistakes too, fam. Grace is a part of this. But yeah, setting healthy boundaries, facts. Dancing around, yo, facts, Amani. Respecting your own voices and opinions, facts, and speaking your truth. Yep, that's tied into exactly what we're talking about. Moving your body, dancing around is a great way to... Because trauma gets stored in the body. Like, we don't even think about that. You know what I'm saying? Trauma really gets stored there. And it's almost like our mind is faster than our bodies. Our bodies are like slow in this density, in this third dimensional plane that we're in, you know? So moving it kind of shakes the stuff off. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ever seen, what's that movie? Is it Rise? Where there was crumping and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Start crumping when you feeling sad. See if that'll cheer you up. Try that. But yes, dancing around, that's a great way to show self-love, because it really does help move trauma. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really do feel better. You feel more comfortable in your skin and your body. You know what I mean? It just helps you feel love for yourself. And it's nothing like good music. I love music. You know, Tia tell you, like, I'll be sending her them playlists, yo. You know, I love music. It really just does something for my soul. So yes, listening to music, dancing is for sure there. Yo, Cosmic Phoenix, you pulled up? What up? Create a bucket and fill it with the places you want to go. Yo, that's fire. Like, I'm really gonna steal that. I think that's a great day. Going on self dates, that's important. Some people don't like to be alone, and sometimes your alone time is important. Being fully authentic, yes. Showing up for yourself, being real. Oh my God, that's a deep one. Listen, there's nothing. Oh shit, sorry, my mind is like moving so fast. All right, so let's talk about this, being fully authentic. I think a lot of people feel like they're being authentic, but they don't even understand that their ego is so in control that they have no idea who they really are at the end of the day, because guess what? They haven't done the inner work to discover who that person is. Like we talked about earlier, most of us are doing things because our parents told us to do it, society told us to do it. Like, we don't even know why we really came here and what our purpose is. We're just doing that thing because we're supposed to, right? Most of y'all, let me not most of y'all, there are some people who don't even wear what they want to wear, right? Like, they're just wearing what's trendy, right? Because they don't want to get made fun of, or they don't want to feel like, you know, like the odd one out, you know what I'm saying? The one that sticks out, like, or completely ignore the way that they dress. You know what I'm saying? They're so focused on doing other things, making money in other ways, making other moves, which is great, but they take no time for their self-expression in other ways. So, yeah, being authentic is really important. You know, people of color really have this trauma too. You know, when you're in corporate America and you have these jobs and you gotta have your what we call it, code switching. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't even talk like the way that we want to talk, which is fine. You know, we're here to get a check. We get it. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of us can't even really be authentic in our jobs. You know what I mean? Like, what life are we really living when we can't even, you know what I'm saying? Like, you think about it, like, the majority of your week. 40 plus hours a week. That's a big portion of the week. I don't know how many minutes how many hours there are in a week. Somebody probably knows this, but I'm sure it's a lot in comparison to what the week is, right? Because the rest of it, you're kind of like, using the bathroom, showering, eating, and then sleeping, you know what I'm saying? And then probably watching Netflix or whatever, distracting your mind from the life that you hate because you haven't done the inner work to heal what you need to heal and haven't done the real self-love work. Ooh, that might be triggering. Sorry if I said that a little harshly, but that's really how it be. So again, why it's important to do this self-work is like a lot of people aren't connected to why they're here and what really makes them tick. They're just following everyone else, listening to the same music that everyone else. When's the last time like you listened to some sorry about the cursing again. Y'all listen to some shit. I'm just gonna curse, whatever. And cause you truly like it. Or is it because like you see everybody else like bobbing their head to this shit? The new Cardi song is out and you're like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And you see everybody else shaking their ass to it. And you're like, okay, this must be a song that I should like. Yes. Like, when's the last time you discovered like some new music, some new artists? You know what I'm saying? Like my girl Yaz with Godfident, for example. Track is crazy. Y'all should check that out. It's on all platforms, just saying. But you know what I'm saying? Like, when's the last time y'all just like played around with music? Like, do you even know if you like jazz? Have you listened to jazz? Have you given rock a chance? Have you given like any other genre outside of like gospel, rap, and hip hop? You might really rock with reggae. Lovers Rock is one of my favorite. That's like the romantic kind of like. Anyways, I'm giving y'all a little too much. But Lovers Rock reggae is fire. I'm a Piano is like, for example, like that's something I discovered some time ago. And I really love that music. Like that music is just so high vibrational. Mind you, I have no idea what they're saying in these different languages from Africa. But when your boy is bopping his head like crazy to that joint, we going in like, you know what I'm saying? Because it just sounds good. It's just a vibe. Like we just be hopping on the trendy shit just cause, man. Like, start thinking outside the box, man. Challenge yourself to go within. Like it's important. It's important in so many ways is what I'm getting at. You know what I mean? Amani says, I saw a post the other day that talked about forgiving yourself. She said when she hears her inner dialogue say something about the past in a negative way, she just says, yes, I know, but I love you. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, I like that suggestion. So basically, whenever you're in this negative self-talk thing, just tell yourself like, yeah, I know, but I love you anyway. See, that's unconditional love. Damn, you about to make me go on another tangent. Unconditional love is so important. It's so crazy how like we're able to show love for other people more than we show love for ourselves. Sometimes like we're so quick to forgive other people, bro. We're so quick to allow them to like overstep our boundaries. We're so quick to like beg for them to be in our spaces. But like, let us make a mistake. We're like literally like, oh my God, I'm so fucking stupid. Oh. You know what I'm saying? Like we so quick to like jump on that. Like any little mistake that we make, we're like our harshest critic. I know I'm guilty of that at times. Like it's cool to make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Like there's like a lack of forgiveness, a lack of patience, and a lack of grace. You know what I mean? So I really love that. Amani, thank you for sharing that. That's fire. But yeah, but I love you. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, cool. That happened, but I love myself anyway. I did the best that I could. Yo, that's a great redirect, Amani. Facts. Right, yes. I was like, amazing to remind myself that's all good and give yourself grace. My bad. I'm like, dude, the chat is moving faster than me. My bad, y'all. Oh, shoot. Morel's in here. Slim was good. KJ was good. Welcome. We just talking about self-love, y'all. People look at it. People look at me weird when I listen to my K-pop, but I don't care. That's right, mommy. Listen, that K-pop kind of hard. I go, hold you. They be dancing their ass off. Oh man, they like the new, they like the Asian B2Ks and stuff like that. That band type shit. Yes, loves. That's also being your authentic self. Facts. Music speaks to our souls, our true self. Listen to what you vibe to. Oof. Listen, that's a fact. And what you listen to, be very careful with that, because that is in your subconscious playing all the time. You know, people around me, when I go on my little rants about what's going on in the world, and like, you know, demon time is like a really big thing. What up, Steve G? Welcome. And you're always talking about demon time. You know what I'm saying? And listen, there's nothing wrong with listening to rap and hip hop that has a level of violence. Because when I'm in the gym, like, I'm not trying to listen to like, oh, namaste, Marikyo, hong. I'm not doing all that when I go to the gym. When I'm in the gym, I want to be hyped. So I'm listening to some hype shit, something that's going to make me push this heavy weight. You know what I'm saying? That I'm lifting. Because, you know, let's go. Like, I need to be aggressive. But listen, when I'm done from that, I'm back to my calm, 528 hertz, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm listening to something high vibrational, so Bob Marley, something. It's all about balance, right? But if you're just listening to rap and hip hop all the time, especially, you know, the mainstream stuff, like, how many times you gonna tell somebody that what's this thing about, sorry, never mind. I'm not gonna go there, not tonight. I was gonna talk about what's this thing about people wanting to like smash each other's partners, but that's a whole other conversation for another day. But yeah, that's real talk. I even do the dances too. The game Just Dance is great. Okay, all right, Monty. That's what's up. That Just Dance is a vibe, Monty. Facts. But yeah, man. Listen, man, this self-love thing is really, really deep. It's just basically what I'm trying to get across to you guys, right? Like, understand that the mainstream is only giving you the surface level. When we see these things on Instagram and they're just talking about what I did spa day, like, yes, have your spa day. But like, let's make sure that we're journaling. Yo, what up, P? Welcome. Pierre in the building. You know, just know that like it's equally important to not just go to the spa, but go to your internal spa, right? What's your negative self-talk been like lately? What are some of the things that are on your mind? Have you journaled? Have you meditated? Have you connected with your spirit team to get guidance? You know? Have you unpacked why you make the decisions that you make? You know, is there something that you feel pattern-wise that is showing you that's around you? Like, why am I seeing these numbers? There's a reason why you're seeing 1111 every day. It's not like, there's a reason behind that. Have you sat down and asked yourself why? So what I'm getting across here is like, self-love is an important work to do. Not only just for your healing, but also for your manifestation. Manifestation is like a huge topic these days. It's gonna be one of my last things that I talk about because I feel like I'm here for too long. But by doing the self-love work, you become a better manifester. Well, how so, DJ? Well, if I'm working through my trauma around money that I'm afraid to spend it, let's say I'm like a hoarder. Like well, let me not say a hoarder. That's the wrong word to use. Let's say I am very frugal. That's a little bit more positive, right? But I'm very tight-fisted with money, right? Because, you know, I have all this in savings, right? But I don't ever invest my money. I don't like to spend money. I just like collecting it. When people ask me for it, I tell them I don't got it, right? So I don't like to give. So everything is about me, and I need this sense of security. It's a false sense of security, by the way. And so money is currency, right? It's meant to be moved. Current, water flow, currency, right? It likes to be multiplied. It likes to be used, right? It doesn't like to just stay stagnant in one place. Well, when you do the healing work, you probably realize like, yo, why am I so tight-fisted around money? Then you start unpeeling the layers and you realize it's because maybe you had a childhood where money was an issue in your household. So now you realize that when you got older and you had more control over your finances, that it feels safe to have $20,000 in the bank or plus. Like, it makes you feel safe. But that in itself is a false sense of safety. Because if our money markets go to shit, which has happened to other countries, of course, and very possible to happen to our country with the way shit is going here, that money could be worth nothing. Then where's your security then? Or how about this? Because that's a little dark. Let's go a little nicer with it. How about maybe instead of just saving your money, maybe you can multiply that money by making investments like in crypto and other money markets or high yield savings accounts. You know what I'm saying? To multiply your money. Yo, T, what's good? Welcome. Thank you for pulling up. You know what I'm saying? So now you're investing money and you're maybe doing real estate, and all of a sudden you're like bringing in a ton of money, and it's moving, and you went from 20,000 to 200,000. And then another thing, you're holding on to this money, you racked up 20,000, people are asking you for it, and yeah, you don't have to get nobody shit, but like sometimes it's important for you to give to receive. So if the universe is putting you in situations to give, and again, this is not in all moments, this is just a general statement, and you make the choice to not do that, even though it's obvious that you should be giving, the universe will say, okay, cool, there's gonna be a time where you're gonna need somebody to give to you, and they're gonna tell you no. And that's the karma for not giving. Everything is about balance. You feel me? But anyways, I digress. When you don't do the self-work, when you don't do the self-love work, the inner work, and unconditionally love yourself, then you end up in these spaces where you're stuck and you're too rigid. And best believe the universe will show you that you're stuck and rigid. Whether that's your health, whether that's people in your life that leave you, you know, like you're looking at life like, oh, like people are moving on and I just feel stagnant and stuck and, you know, nothing's in flow. Most likely that account situation that we talked about, that your money might be going up, but because it's not flowing anywhere, like in other ways in your life, you're going to see it like not really grow. And that's another thing. The universe will like start making shit break around your home. And like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy what the universe be trying to talk to us, yo. And we don't listen because we're not listening because we're not spending the time to go within and do the real self-love work. That's real though. Appreciate you, Pierre. You don't give, you may have to experience loss. That's facts. That's a fact, P. You know the vibes. So anyways, y'all, it's been a great one. I appreciate y'all tuning in, and I really hope that you guys got something from this, right? Like, you know, again, self-love is multifaceted. It's not just, you know, going out and having a good time with drinks and going on vacation with your bae and your friends. It's also about doing the internal work, you know, forgiving yourself, healing your inner traumas, and also figuring out what your soul purpose is. We didn't talk too much about that. We could probably dial into that another day. But these are all important things to know so that we can move forward and live a great, expansive life. You know what I'm saying? It's about balance, y'all. You know what I'm saying? My first house is in Libra, so I understand balance very well. I have this gift, and my ascendant too is in Libra, so I'm all about balance. And it doesn't mean that I'm a perfectly balanced person, because there's ways in my life that I need to be more balanced. You know what I'm saying? But that's the work. That's definitely the work, for sure. This was dope, DJ. Good vibes. Thought-provoking comment. Thank you. Appreciate y'all, man. Listen, thank you so much for tuning in to me. With me. I'm so gracious and thankful that y'all are here, man. I had a great time talking to y'all. I really wish, like, maybe next week, because this is going to be a weekly thing, y'all. So we're going to see you next week at 8. It's going to be a different topic. Maybe I'll pull somebody up and we just chop it up for real if somebody's brave enough. You know what I mean? We'll make that happen. But I really appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I wish y'all nothing but the best. I know this eclipse season has been a doozy. Man, I really hope that The full moon in Libra has been kind to y'all. And the solar eclipse that's coming, I don't even know what is coming, but I know it's coming soon. It's gonna be a doozy, but just be in flow and be in gratitude, you know what I'm saying, for what's coming up. And just face it, you know, do that self-love inner work. I love y'all, man. Y'all have a good night. And I'll see y'all next week.